I wanted to get on here and share my testimony about going to see a doctor across the country who I believe has seriously saved my life and has changed my life for the better. I have been dealing with stage 3 endometriosis for several years, to the point where I had to leave my career because I could not deal with the level of stress my job gave me alone, on top of the stress of what I was battling quietly on my own and really suffering with extreme levels of fatigue. If you've been pregnant before, I'm talking that level of fatigue where it is nearly impossible to keep my eyes open and I just have to sleep. In no way, shape, or form did my life feel like life. My life did not feel valuable. I felt like I couldn't do the things I really wanted to do. I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the capacity. So I left my career. When I left my career, I had a few really scary episodes that landed me in the ER. I have the bills to prove that within the last 2 years, I have been to the ER 4 times for different scenarios, all rooted in endometriosis and severe pain. Pain so severe that oftentimes I thought I was having a heart attack because it just pulls down on you. It's just like the adhesions were pulling down and causing this ripple effect of pain going up and into my chest. I was at my wit's end. I was tired of not knowing what the future held. I was tired of the miscarriages and feeling like my body was broken. So I started doing way more research than I was already doing, and I stumbled upon a video on YouTube from a girl, I think her channel's Lazy Mom, cute Asian girl giving her testimony about seeing the same doctor. And when I looked further into it, I found out his office is in a small city in Florida that I used to live in called St. Petersburg. And not many people know of this little city. It's a cute spot. I loved living there, but now I live across the country. And when I saw that that's where his office was, I was like, woe to the synchronicities, woe to God's timing and how funny he is, and just the full circle. And I was like, this feels like a sign. My mom has an Airbnb in St. Petersburg. I could stay there. My husband was doing a work trip at the time that I could volunteer for and that they could pay for the flights for. When I tell you God set the path because I put my heart and my mind there and I trusted his guidance, I was led there. I was truly, this was a divine intervention, and I feel like a totally new person. And I want to share this because I think it's like 1 in every 6 women has endometriosis. Every other woman that I meet at my church, and there are a lot of people at my church, has endometriosis. I have been so surprised and flabbergasted by how many women have endometriosis. And they don't know what to do. They just say, yeah, I just take my pain medicine. Yeah, I just kind of cope with it. Yeah, I just have to push through it. And I just see the life being sucked out of them. And it's so sad. And it is not how God wants us to be living. It's just not. So I want this information to get out there because more people need to see this doctor because he's out there doing God's work. I had been waiting several months just to see a surgeon, just to get a surgery scheduled. I'm talking about 7 months that led me to see this surgeon. The appointment is next week. Next Wednesday. This all started after an ER visit close to the beginning of the year that led me to go to my primary care doctor and get a lot of blood work done. She suspected possible PCOS. She sent me to get a ultrasound, a pelvic exam, got that, saw some stuff in there and realized, okay, there's a lot going on that shouldn't be. There are a lot of masses and things and spots on your ovaries, and let's look into this. Cool. Schedules me 2 months out to see a specialist, endocrinologist. She rules out you do not have PCOS. I suspect this is just endometriosis. Great. I already knew this was endometriosis. I just needed a professional to confirm this. Well, it takes about a lifetime for that to happen for whatever reason in the Western medical world. It has taken me my whole life to finally get answers. This is your sign to continue to push for answers. I go to see this endocrinologist, no PCOS. I'm gonna send you to an MRI. I had to wait a month for this MRI. Get the MRI, they see lots of adhesions. They see an adhesion pulling on my rectum. I was not surprised by, because going to the bathroom, extremely painful. So painful, I thought it could be colon cancer, and they scheduled me an appointment to see a gastroenterologist. It's not colon cancer, it's endometriosis. They see adhesions, deep infiltrating, pulling on my fallopian tubes, explains why pregnancy isn't happening successfully. And then with those answers, they refer me to see this OBGYN specialist. Well, it takes a month for them to approve the referral. And once that month is up, I had to wait another month to see the doctor because they had scheduled it for a month out. This is now, 4 or 5 months, ongoing. Well, a week before I go to see this OBGYN, I get a phone call from her assistant, and she says, by the way, we're just going to have you in for a couple minutes to schedule you to see your surgeon. This appointment isn't going to help you in any way. It's just to schedule an appointment. So I waited 2 months to sit in this doctor's office for less than 5 minutes to schedule an appointment with a special surgeon. So that was scheduled for a month out. Again, that month reaches its end next week when I see this doctor. Well, in the meantime, while the Western medical industry, which is great in certain ways and in other ways it is not, while I wait on the medical industry, I'm gonna go take matters into my own hands, and I call the office of Dr. YingLing in St. Petersburg, Florida. They are so kind, so attentive. I spoke with his assistant, or his front desk lady, Heidi. She was awesome. We hit it off right away, scheduled it out, and I fly. Get there, it is 2 days, 3 hours each day of sitting down with this doctor who genuinely cares about my problems, who hears me, who learns the history of my life, the traumas I had been through, everything there was to know about me, followed by something called muscle testing. I've done muscle testing in the past, so it was not foreign to me, but to anyone who's never heard of this or who's never done this, it might sound woo-woo, and it is most certainly something foreign, but it works. It is an effective method to finding out what your body does not like. They had me bring in all the products that I put on my body, all the products that I put in my body, supplements, teas that I drink, all that type of stuff. And he tested how my body responded to these things, and I was surprised by a lot of it, and by a lot of it I wasn't surprised. I realized that caffeine at whatever scale was not my thing. And I still did it. I still drank matcha. I still drank green tea. I still drank chai. And every once in a while, drink coffee, even though I hated the way it made me feel. It got the jitters. It gave me the shakes, anxiety, rapid heart beating. Did not like it. Well, he tests caffeine on me, and he says, you can't have caffeine to any capacity. And I was like, wow, I'm not surprised. So there was that. But then there were other instances, like, for instance, I can't have onion. This is me, by the way. Everyone is different. Everyone responds to things differently. That's why it's important to go get tested and figure out what your unique blueprint entails. So these were the things that I discovered about myself with Dr. YingLing's support. He had charts and diagrams and all sorts of maps to puzzle things together. He said, all right, well, this pathogen's not working, that means that this is not working, that means that this needs support, that, and just fully painting the picture for me. He had me audio record a lot of it so that I can listen back to it, because it was just that much information. And in all the years and all the specialists, rheumatologists, that I have seen, no doctor has ever been so detailed and informative as he was. Now, here's the thing. He's going to give you the roadmap on what to do. He's going to find the root of the problem and rip the root out. You need to rip that old root out so that you have clean soil to work with. And so he helped me figure that out. You have to follow what he says. It is so important. It is vital that you follow everything that he tells you. Meal plans, time of days to eat, time of days not to eat, all that. Very specific information. And there will be very specific information for you, because you are a different person with a completely different structure in your biology. Completely different needs, completely different traumas. We are all so unique. And that is why a lot of the times the Western medicine just doesn't work, because it is tailored to just address the symptom, not the root of the problem, not by your unique design. And that is what this doctor does. So here we are, just a couple months after seeing him. My last menstrual cycle was not painful. I had cramps, but it wasn't painful. I wasn't folded over, crying, rocking myself, and having my husband put pressure on me like he always does. I had the capacity to get up and take care of myself. I had the energy to get up and make myself something to eat, which usually I wouldn't. Usually I'm like a baby. I have to rely on my husband to support me. And last month, he and I were in awe. We could not believe that it was as if I didn't even have my menstrual cycle. And now I'm noticing I have way more energy. I do not have a midday crash. I don't need to take a nap throughout the day. I'm sleeping through the night, full on 8 to 9 hours, waking up fully energized. I have a Garmin watch that's been tracking everything. My stress levels are non-existent, because it will tell you what your stress levels are. None. So all that to say, if you feel like there isn't any hope out there, there is. There is a person. There's a guy. His name is Dr. YingLing. He's in St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm going to put their information in the description. Call, ask, put yourself out there. Take a leap of faith, because it very well could work in your favor, and you very well can be the person you want to be within a few months. Within a few months. I've been dealing with this for years. This doctor is so cool, because even after going to see him and spending so many hours with him, he's like, I'm here for you. You have my cell phone number. I answer you from these hours to these hours. And if he was like, and if you don't hear from me, it's because I'm on vacation. Like, that's how real he is. I have texted him at least once a week. He's always answering. He's always there. And I really admire that, because none of my doctors have ever. I have to wait for their assistant to get back to me a week later. And then by that point, it's like, I'm not even experiencing the things that I was experiencing anymore. So whatever. But it's like on the money. If I'm experiencing something that day and I text him about it, he's like trying to narrow out what the possibilities could be, and then giving me recommendations, and I make adjustments, and then I feel great again. Dr. YingLing, love and appreciate you. I feel like a new person. Hopefully I look like a new person. There is hope, and I am a testimony. I am a walking testament of that. If you like this video, if it was insightful, if it helped you in any way, shape, or form, I ask that you just give it a like. Liking it is totally free. Send this to a friend. If you have a friend that you know that suffers with endo, send this to them. I'm gonna put details in the description of my video. I hope and I pray that you get to see healing in this lifetime. I hope that you continue to show up for yourself, that you can continue to show yourself love, and just seek the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll see you in the next video.